Right, so how to fix your headphones. This may happen due to animals or pets chewing through your wires, or like mine, you had them going through a big binder clip to keep your wires organized, and something very heavy, be it person or otherwise, decided to rip your headphones out and not completely cut them, but give a good cut or mar into the wire. And this process is pretty simple and straightforward, but it entails, trying to get the glare out of the way, it entails cutting off the bad spot and taking the wires, getting them apart, stripping them, soldering and tin them, which is what I have here. This is why some of them are kind of shiny. Some of them obviously aren't. That's for another reason that solder didn't take. And what you pretty much do is you just combine the wires together and you solder them, or solder the respective colored wires. This leads to a bit of, sorry for the shaky camera, it leads to a little bit of theory about how headphone audio works, which I'll be back in one moment. So amid the pile of, some would call junk, I call projects, you see this in this vise here. This is a, focus, this is a standard headphone jack. And we're going to talk to it on the bottom down. It's called the ground sleeve, and it's separated by a small thin black line, the sleeve, and then the tip. In normal audio applications, you have a left and a right headphone. And in electronics, you have to have a return path, and that goes back through your ground. In older radios from the 30s, that actually wasn't ground, it was a B+ from the battery, but that's a different story and we're not going to get into that. This connector here is just a typical 3.5mm or 1/8 American inch, and it's pretty standard now on computers, devices, iPhones, headphones, what have you. A lot of people are still using the old 1/4-inch jack, which I don't have one handy. This plugs into like your computer, and so we have to have 3 wires, a left and a right, and a return path, which is our ground. This headphones, the Turtle Beach X12, actually has two grounds, 2 tips, and 2 rings. That's what they call the middle sleeve. And I usually call it sleeve, middle sleeve, and then tip. But your mileage may vary. And it also has USB power, which is ground and another power. There's no data connections, and it's going to the amp, so this is why we have fairly a few wires on here. If you look here in the microscope lens, if I straighten it out, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wires. Which, if we have 6 wires coming from the 2 different jacks, focus, and you're sharing the ground on one of them, probably the headphone. Well, no, maybe not. Well, no, yeah, I would probably choose a headphone if I was to eliminate a wire, and one of them in here is positive. That information really isn't 100% necessary. If you'd like a little bit more electrical background, there's other tutorials, obviously. But now you just connect the dots. Not literally, though. You have to go through, make a connection, make sure it's insulated from shorting out to other connections, and don't burn any fingers in the process, and you're pretty much good to go.